Hello everybody. I'm back again with another hacking stream. I don't know, I'm just really in the mood to do some hacking lately. And I've done a little bit of progress, not process, since the last one. Because there were two things I really wanted to fix. That I was able to fix. There's this little program called Ghidra, which is used for reverse engineering. I'm not gonna do much with it right now. I just want to show you guys how this looks like and what it took to get me to fix those little problems. Because this essentially takes a look at the main doll file where all the magic happens, where all the like exe stuff is happening essentially. And it deconstructs the assembly instructions from the hex code and tries turning it into readable C code. And as you can see, you have no idea what this is. And you have to look for things that call for things. And then you can slowly map out what each of the function and variable does. Hex codes, yay, hello, Falcon Striker. And eventually, with the help of ChatGPT, which I'm not entirely proud of, but if it works, it works. I essentially just looked, okay, where is the skill steal called in the code? And then I fed ChatGPT this code and was like, hey, this is the context. This is what I wanted to do. Help me figure out where the speed requirement is called. And I figured it out. I was able to figure out that, see, and I mapped out the variables. You have some code here that is speed target equals final speed stat. Speed thief equals final speed stat. So parameter 1 is player unit or thief, you know, initiator of the skill. And parameter 2 is the person who you're stealing from. Steal initiator. Let's map those out as well so you can see it. And then it asks, is the thief's speed higher, by checking, well, if the speed's thief is higher, and if it is higher, then you can continue, essentially. And I was able to change this, so now the speed requirement is gone. The stealing skill no longer requires you to have more speed than the enemy. The strength requirement is somewhere in here, and I could remove it theoretically, but I don't want to, because I do like the strength requirement somewhat, and it's kind of a thing that, like, you're gonna level up strength eventually anyways, so... But maybe I'll change this along the lines. And just to show you guys, I've been looking into... This is everything here has to do with the Lagus transformation stat bonuses. Like, for example, I was able to change the speed stat to no longer be doubled. But it, like, showed up weirdly, and I was like, okay, I can just do the same thing for strength and everything, but it doesn't work. And I sat here for 10 hours trying to get this, like, Lagus to not double their stats upon promotion. And I was sitting there like, oh my god, like, what am I missing? How can I fix this? What is going on? I finally want it fixed so I can continue work. And then I realized that the skills, the stats only get doubled if you have the lycanthrope skill, which is a hidden skill. And that means if I just remove that skill, the stats won't be doubled. And it was that simple. I just needed to not give tigers and, like, transformed Lagus that specific skill. So, yeah, I felt really stupid after that, but, you know, it's... it works. That's the main bit. That's the main bit. And I've written down where to change it. So my goal for today was to rebalance all the Laguz in part 1, which is mainly in that one chapter. But it is also somebody like Voluk. We're gonna have to see, because now I can do flat bonuses on the Laguz, like in FE9, which is what I originally wanted. And the way you do that is... Well, music is a little bit loud on my ears, so tone it down on my end. And the way you do this is by just changing the basis of the transformed class. So if the transformed tiger has 10 strength and the untransformed tiger has 6 strength, then the transformed tiger will gain 4 strength from transforming. How will Wild Heart work with these changes, like the Demi-Band? I wanted to do it like the Demi-Band. I'm not quite sure if it's gonna even work at all, because I think the Lycanthrope skill might be a prerequisite. We're gonna have to test it, how it works with Voluk and the Wild Heart skill. But worst case scenario, I can just make an event, which is essentially like a custom skill check, which asks, if you have the Wild Heart skill and you are in a transformed class, then you get minus stats. I could just do something like that. What about Voluk? Yes, I don't know about Voluk. I'm gonna have to figure it out, but I can probably get Voluk fixed. I'll just have to take a look at where he is, and right now, Oh, I was wondering what was making a noise. It's my controller. Why is it vibrating? My PlayStation controller is just vibrating like crazy. Huh? I don't know if you can hear it. What the fuck? I spilled something on it earlier, but I cleaned it up immediately afterwards. Okay. No, I guess I'm just not gonna use that for a bit. Is that Alex Yeek? Yes, it's my very, very beautiful background. Based on that one time I played SMT Nocturnal. This was the team we had. We had Christian as our main character, followed by Alex Yeek, Pol Pot, and Woman. And yeah. Got rid of Engage Fan 008. Hi Donut, hello Azafure. So that does mean I need to reconfigure my my controls for Dolphin. Banger team compilation, I sure hope so. Keyboard? I think it's this one. Get what the Z button is even for, if I'm being honest. Just gotta fix it enough to where I can at least test it. It doesn't have to be pretty. I don't remember if these are ever used, so... guess I'll put them on D and F. Okay, and I also need to change the hotkeys for the speed up. Yeah, it's this one. Disable animation. Oh, hello? Clear. Why are you not... Come on. Can I really not... Why is it not letting me select that? It's so weird. Okay. Shift? Sure. It works, it works. The blur, yeah. It's supposed to, like... the background is so schizo that, I don't know, it just works. It has a certain charm to it. Linux bros stay losing. Fake and homosexual. Anyways, let's give it a test. Yeah, okay, seems to work. Oh yeah, I gotta show this off to you first. I'm not gonna do a proper test, I just want to take a look at the stats. Last time we made Havetti join. And as you can see, this time he has an actual better portrait and the goon animations. And if we're gonna join into it, I also added a deployment slot for him, so you can just use him for free now. And he comes with the steal skill. Does not require more speed. And let's see if we can find somebody with... Yeah, this guy has a treasure key. Do these guys have stealables? No. But as you can see, right now their transformed stats are the exact same, because they don't get doubled. And as you can also see, because I took the lycanthrope skill away from them, their stats no longer get doubled, but their gauge is a little bit buggy. And oh my god, I just noticed their fangs. They can't use their fangs. Oh, I didn't notice that before. No, they... Oh, it's just... They can't attack with their fangs. I gotta figure out a way how to fix that, because... Yeah, they're not counted as transformed, so they don't get the doubled stat, but... That means they also can't attack, they can only counter with their weapons. Yeah, Havetti's promotion will be from Goon to Brigand, and from Brigand to Berserker. I do want to still test out the stealing, so... Oh god, oh no! Maybe I didn't fix the Laguz things. I guess he's trying to attack, but he can't attack, so he's just thinking like, oh, I'm not transformed if I can't attack, so I'm just gonna transform and then attack, but then he can't. He reverts back. Oh god, okay, that is... I thought from Goon to Berserker and from Berserker to Goliath. I don't know about Goliath, I've never heard of that before. I mean, it could work, but I'm just not familiar with the term. Where is that from? Could honestly do that. Something in my throat. Goon Master, Goon King? No. No. That is, however, an issue. I'm pretty sure there is a way to make Laguz be able to attack. Despite not being transformed. Maybe I'll have to ask our dad on the server. Donlotta, Goon Plus. Goliath is a giant in that story. David and Goliath, yeah, I mean, sure. Actually, that does kind of fit Goliath. You know what? I like that. I'm gonna do that. Oh wait, that's items. I like that. I like that. Goon. Yeah, I'll have to change the JID. I don't have anybody in this class right now, so... Goliath. And we'll change this to Berserker. There we go. And oh, I need to change the icons. Let's get the Devil Axe out of here again. And you can have a Steel Axe. Goliath is a giant in that story. Yeah, it does kind of make sense. I was really wondering what I could use for these names. And I didn't quite like Brigand because it sounded a little bit too much like a tier 1 class. And it is in most Fire Emblem games, but Goliath is a good name. So I'll stick to that. Good morning, Christian Ramamurthy. Yeah, I'm really wondering if I can somehow fix the fact that... Because it seems like they need the Lycanthrope skill to use their Fang weapons. But what if I give them new Fang weapons? Maybe I need to change the weapon type? But then they're no longer strikes, right? What if I remove the blow effect here? Let's maybe try that. Tiger Fang. We remove the blow attribute. I'm gonna do a save and test it again. Good morning. Question down. Any ideas how to make the Black Knight fight better in order to not just make it hammer spam? That is so far into the future that I have not thought about it at all. So... no idea. But the Black Knight will not be available for... for the Dawn Brigade, so... and that will be a little bit of a story change. Maybe I'll make him stronger. I'm not quite sure. So yeah, they can still... counter, but they still can't attack. So that doesn't work. Let's copy that. Add it back in. Yeah, I really don't know what I can do with this. Maybe... well, damage type is just damage type. Down Syndrome Brigade. Oh no. I think I'll just have to ask Sal. If anybody knows how to do this, it's him. Or maybe just on the server itself, because I think there was another hack which made Lagus able to attack untransformed. And if I can use the same idea for that as I can for this, then hopefully I'll be able to make them attack. That's unfortunate. I was really looking forward to doing some Lagus changes, but maybe Sal joins in over the course of the stream and can help me out with that. But we should probably still take a look at like how we want to balance these stats, because I'm really not sure how high I should make these transformation bonuses, because the caps are much higher in Radiant Dawn for the Lagus than they are in Path of Radiance. So the Path of Radiance bonuses, I can quickly show them to you. I was originally just gonna use these, but these are very, very weird because they are almost tailored towards the characters. Like, tigers get +3 defense from transformation, but cats get +5. If they get the same speed, and it's just... it's weird. Like, ravens get less speed than hawks, but also less strength. It's like... the transformation bonuses are incredibly weird in Path of Radiance. They work for the game because of how the stats are structured, but these stats will not work for Radiant Dawn. So I'm gonna have to come up with new ones. And I was just not really sure where or how strong they should be. I think they should probably be just about like... if a unit is good in something, or a class is good in something, they should be better at it when they transform. Right, so tigers should get more strength than cats. Sounds like a mercenary Myrmidon thing, but worse. But you know what? Before that, actually, I did want to do one thing with these things here. And that is add them to the weapon triangle. I'm pretty sure I did this before, but maybe my like changes didn't quite save. What I wanted to do is to include them via having here cats will do will use sword damage type, which means that they're essentially a sword for how the weapon triangle is concerned. And the same thing for the beaks. So for the ravens, they're gonna be swift, or whatever you want to call it. Swift damage type, sword damage type. Then we're gonna take lances. And lances are gonna be used by wolves. Which will be medium, essentially. As well as talon. You know what I can actually do? Can't I just do an attributes, weapon effectiveness, weapon damage type? Yeah, I can just copy this onto the other ones. This is faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look, I learned a little bit of Spanish. Yeah, that works perfect. Dragon Breath will be neutral, kind of like the bows. And then tigers and lions will get the axe type. Just advanced copy. Weapon damage type. Let's pull this out a bit. There we go. And hopefully that should make the Lagus a little bit more interesting. Yeah, Sal gave me that idea. Sal gave me that idea. Sal, while you're here, I'm having an issue that I need your help with. I was able to make Lagus not double their stats when transforming by taking away the lycanthrope skill. And I thought that, you know, fixed my entire issue. But they now cannot initiate attacks. And because they can't initiate attacks, they just run up to you and keep like transforming and untransforming all over again. And essentially soft lock the game. How can I make them be able to attack without giving them the lycanthrope skill? Because if I can't do it without that skill, then dear God, I'm gonna have to go through and look for like how to fix it in Ghidra for 10 more hours before I probably figure out a way. Good question, no fucking clue. Well, how do people make untransformed Lagus able to attack with punches and stuff like that? Because I don't remember if it was your hack or Radiant Dawn Plus or another hack that made it so that Lagus can initiate attacks when untransformed. Maybe I'm just misremembering things. Ask again later. Okay. Well, yeah, I'll just ask you again later. Flags? What flags? Didn't hear any of that over crying. Okay. No worries, just come back. Like when you come back, you just ask it again, and I will tell you what the issue is. Yeah. We also made Elincia a tier 2 class. And as a tier 3 she gets wind magic, I think it was. So there is that. Right. Did that, yeah. The transformation bonuses. Now, what do we want to do for them? Okay, try again. Okay. So my issue is, I took away, never mind. Look, worry about the little baby first, and once you're done with him, just let me know again. The little baby takes precedence. Yeah. Transformation bonuses. What do you guys think their transformation bonuses should be? Pacifier ain't pacifying. Because, like, tigers, like, if I give them, like, plus 14 in strength, will that be too much? Goo goo gaga indeed. Goo goo gaga indeed. You know, let me boot up the chapter again so I actually have a reference point to what their stats look like. So yeah, they would have around 21 strength. So if I give them... No, wait, if I give them plus 14, they'll have 25 strength here. Maybe just like plus 9? I'm not sure. How fast are your units here? They all have like over 10 speed for sure. I want the faster units to be able to double them, so they shouldn't have more than like 14 speed at most. And these guys have like 20, which is fine. Give cat bonuses to Homo Tiger. We'll see what we'll do with Homo Tiger, but he'll be better now. I already know that much. Let's just go out on a limb and give him plus 9, so that's 15 strength then. They don't need any more magic. Skill, maybe like a plus 4, so... Plus 4 is also not very high. Plus 6? And then speed, I would just save maybe 5 speed. Yeah, let's give him 5 speed. Defense. Maybe also 9 points, 8 points. Let's do 8 points. Yeah. 8 points, so that would be 12. And resistance they can gain plus 4. And now I will have to adjust these stats as well, I think. Because otherwise then they won't get their transformation bonuses. Or actually, you know what, I think I'm just gonna work on something else for now, and then take another look at this, because if I'm gonna have to change their Tiger Fang, like the items they attack with, what I was thinking of is, instead of giving them transformation bonuses via changing the bases here, I can just give the bonuses to their weapon, and then you will actually see what the bonuses are. First time viewers, so what's the goal of this rebalance? Is it just QOL changes, or is there something more in mind? There is something more in mind. I can show you the character list right here that we have. It's a little bit... Can I zoom in there? Wait, I have the list in this one. We're gonna add a lot of new playable characters. My one rule is no OCs, so... you will get characters like Tominami, you will have a couple new maps for Joffrey's Knights, there'll be an actual third, like, party that you have. So it will now be Dawn Brigade, Joffrey's Knights, and Greil Mercs. You will get to play as a lot of the bosses in FE9, they will join the Dawn Brigade, Largo is playable. You will have a couple new events, you will have new mechanics. Every one of the groups gets 2 thieves. A couple new classes, like Tominami will be something akin to a War Monk. There's gonna be some story changes, but the main idea is just gameplay first, and if I can justify it story-wise, writing-wise, then I will. And if it doesn't take too much work. But gameplay is the like foremost thing. And being lore accurate is also not entirely my goal. Like, I don't mind if I have to change some things. Gameplay is the first priority. So, as long as it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be fun. And yeah. So you're gonna have, like, Jared playable for the Greil Mercs, for example, later. And I have a little bit of a rough idea of why they join and everything, but... yeah. or like Izuka and Peleus are playable in part 1. All the characters will be rebalanced. You will get new weapons. It's pretty much a full-on, like, I called it a rebalance, but Katarina was always like,
Actually, it's not a rebalance, it's more like a remaster or reimagining.
And he always said that whenever I called it a rebalance, so I just have to call it a reimagining now, to not get nerded over. And the proper name, or the work in progress name for this I have right now is just Shower Patch, because, well, people always call Tellius Smellius, so I will make it no longer smell. I just had an idea that a playable Valtome sounds funny. I can see a way of him joining by his Zelgius obsession, and maybe as a secret, if you bring him to the tower, he can join the Black Knight. I didn't know Patarino worked on Soy Emblem. No, Patarino is an absolute goat. But, you know, technically he's correct. It's no longer a rebalance. It's me adding a bunch of shit and making it, like, a lot different. I was originally gonna just make a rebalance, but the issue with FE10 is there are so many big fundamental structural problems that plague the game that by just changing a couple of numbers around, you can't really fix the underlying issues that the game has. So you need to change it somehow. Playable Valtome? Sure, I mean, he's like, there's a bunch of characters here that theoretically I could add anywhere. But most likely will not. I mean, join the Black Knight fight with Ike like he cannot do anything to hurt the Black Knight. Maybe. That sounds kind of funny. I'll note that down. Valtome is mad at Zelgius and joins Ike in the BK fight. Sure. I'll note that down. Yeah. Nice. Hope there will be a rework for non-royal Lagus to make them decent options. Yes. You can take a look at the other streams if you want to, but as you can see, one of the good examples I have here is in part 1 you will get Nyla, and she is a royal, but I'll make her around as strong as Voluk, where Voluk will be like, I think Voluk was more of like the fast and strong type, while Nyla will be more like tanky and stuff. She will probably still keep her form shift, but her stats will be much lower and you'll actually have to train her. And for the tower, I'll make you have to choose between one of the royals. Like Mufasa or Tabarn, not both of them. And I'll also have it so that everybody you don't bring to the tower will have to defend the entrance of the tower against the Disciples of Order. So you're actually incentivized to train everybody a little bit so you can defend the tower. And it's not a game over if you're not able to defend the tower, but the further you are able to defend it, the less enemy reinforcements will be coming through your back. So you will be incentivized to train everybody. That's the general idea of that, among many other things. Yeah. What can we do then? Because I can't really do this chapter right now in that case. Let's maybe check out part 2. And do a little bit of theory crafting right there, because let's see what characters I had for part 2. Because I wasn't quite done with part 2 yet. So we can do a little bit of progress there. We've already done, this is the Elinsha map, we did some basic stuff here. Erinchia. Look at that, there we go. Still comes with the delicate sword. I think I'll probably want to give her a different sword in this case. The slim sword is just going to make her completely useless. She should be able to deal at least a little bit of damage. Maybe I'll give her a silver sword. Never mind the royals, if this rebalance makes Fiona in any way viable, I would consider it a success. I can tell you what I did with Fiona. She... essentially, so what I'm pretty sure happened, though some people disagree, is that Fiona was supposed to be auto-leveled from level 1 to level 9, so she would get 8 levels, and that would be her basis. But that never happened, so she had her level 1 basis at level 9. And what this essentially means is that, well, Fiona is just dog shit. And I essentially just gave her back those 8 levels, so her bases are actually somewhat comparable to Jill's bases now. And on top of that, she gets a Peer F, the Rambega lance, which was her father, you know, the Rider of Dane. And what I wanted to do with this is it increases your magic and it heals you more. There's no indication that that is the case regarding Fiona. Are you sure about that? Because I'm pretty sure I remember seeing something like that, but maybe I'm wrong. In any case, Fiona is completely... as far as we know. Well, maybe I'll take a look at that in a second. But she gets a magical lance that she can use. I was gonna make it Fire Lance and like effective against beasts, but I'm not quite sure if I want to keep the effectiveness on it. Just one of those early Radiant Dawn days rumors. Fair enough. But yeah, she's an actual usable unit. Will you change her availability? Yes, availability for pretty much every character is much better across the board. Because my main idea is more characters equals more fun. More available characters equals more fun. So the player will have the option to play around with it a little bit more sandboxy, you could say. Sal, are you available now? Or still playing Guardian duty? Yeah, my original idea was to give it, have it increase magic and then she heals more with Imbue. But, we'll see. We'll see what I do with it. Alright, I wanted to check. Is the story going to be altered to account for the unit availability, or will it be the same? Yes and no. Here's the thing, rewriting the entire story is going to be a lot of work, and I am anything but a writer. If I can get some people on board who have a little bit of writing experience, who can actually help me with writing the story, then I will do it, I think. I will still do a couple of things, like maybe base conversations myself. But the issue that somebody brought up is, if I just do a couple of small changes here and there in the story, then, and 90% is unchanged in the main story, then people will, like, read all the dialogue, looking for the new text, and then be disappointed because there is so little new text. But, so if I'm gonna change any dialogue in the main story, that you like need to not skip conversations for, then I would have to write a lot of dialogue to make those people not feel ripped off in a way. And in that case I just need more writers, and I need better writers than myself. I always ripped Imbue off Fiona and gave it to Alincia, works well on her. What I was also considering heavily on doing is to make all personal skills locked. You can still give skills around via like skill scrolls, but not, you can't take off personal skills. That was my idea. Yeah, where was I? Right, I wanted to check a Rincia. She has B rank in swords, because I didn't want to give her the slim sword. Like, slim sword is nice and all, but she just doesn't do damage with it. Yeah, silver sword is unfortunately A rank. Maybe I'll just make her A rank. Maybe she comes with a brave sword? Nah, it's a little bit too much. Killer sword. Maybe I'll just have her start with a steel sword. Instead of... Or maybe I'll just give her both. Let me just give her both, because I did improve the slim sword. Though I don't think she does any real damage with it against these enemies. Yeah, Marsha was fine. We took a look at Marsha already. Then map number 2, let me zoom out a bit again. This was the Braum map, which we changed by adding Tominami to Braum and Nephany as a playable, well, Pilgrim, promoting into War Monk, but he's essentially a bishop for all intents and purposes. And then we also added Mordecai and Lev as reinforcements that appear on turn 2. So you have more, and I also made Heather blue when she spawns. So you have a lot more tools to play around with. This chapter will probably be a bit too easy as a result of that. So I think I'll have to make the enemies here stronger. But we'll get there when we get there, when I actually have a save prepared. For now, I'm just doing the characters. Then we have the cave, where, yeah, I reduced... Will you keep the staff bonking, or is it too hard to change? I will definitely keep the staff bonking. I think it's funny. We changed Lucia, not Lucina. Oh my god, it's starting again. Put her back to level 6, because she's gonna have more availability. Lev and Mordecai are gonna be back. Everybody else is gonna be back. Neolucci. Keep the bonk good indeed. Okay. Right, then we have Joffrey's charge. And what I was considering is to pretty much remove most of the yellow units, because they just make the map take even longer and make the map even more boring, in my opinion. I was considering maybe Mordecai and Lev join in this chapter, but that doesn't quite fit. Maybe Tominami, though. Tominami sounds like he would kind of fit to join this, because... I mean, yeah, he's on foot, but so are the bishops here. Like, I can just exchange one of these bishops for Tominami. Shoria... Wuhalada... Bonk nerfed her hard. Are you going to fix Astrid? Yes. The first thing that I'm gonna do with her is... Paragon will definitely be a locked skill on the people who have it as a personal. So you won't be able to just take it off of them. But I will give Paragon skill scrolls, I think. So you can still do a little bit of Paragon like stuff around, but you will have normal mode experience gains, so I really don't want to be too... trigger happy with Paragon. I may even nerf the experience gains you get from it a little bit. Because again, you have normal mode experience gains, and those are a lot stronger. Let's see, where is Stella? Stella is her Japanese name, yeah. I haven't quite decided what I'm gonna do with her. We're gonna take a look at that now. Same thing with Joffrey. In fact, let's maybe start with Joffrey. So, Joffrey is normally level 15, and he does have Paragon, so he does gain a little bit of XP on his maps, but your units are so hilariously overleveled in Joffrey's squad that the only unit who gets any, like, experience is Astrid. And maybe Makalov and Dunvet a little bit, and Marsha. But even that is like maybe a handful of levels if you focus it all on them. So it's just... It feels like none of the resources you end up getting and using in Joffrey's maps really matter, apart from like maybe the Master Crown you can give him. And so Joffrey's gonna have more maps, more availability, and he's essentially gonna be your third lord, alongside Alincha. I think I'm gonna also increase her availability. So he and Alincha will essentially be like, I don't know, like Soph and Micaiah for their route. So I think we should definitely lower his level. The issue is I can't lower it too much, I think. Or can I? You know what? I can. This is my hack. I can. I'm not quite sure where to put him though. Maybe like level 8? Let's take a look at his stats. Let me bring up his stats so you can see it. FE10 Joffrey. Oify, my beloved, best Discord bot. We're gonna grab this one here. And then let's check out his FE9 stats. FE9 Joffrey. Have a little bit more comparison room between the others. And then let's also get FE10 Oscar in as a comparable unit, who is definitely, I think, a little bit weaker actually, other than like the affinity and the availability, but I think in raw stats he's actually a bit weaker. Right. Let's order this around correctly, like this. So we have Joffrey right here. Oh, no. Joffrey right here. We have Oscar just below him, or let's put him to the right of him. So we can see the difference there. And then FE9 Joffrey. So, you know, some of the, like, usually I know the approximates of how the growths of a character are set up. But with units like Joffrey and FE10 Oscar, I really don't know, because like, they're so high level that they get so few levels that it doesn't really matter what their growths are for the most part. But as you can see, okay, Joffrey is mainly strength focused. He's very balanced in FE9. Starts at level 11 there. We could also just have him stay at level 11. Buff the enemy's level. Yes, we will do that as well. The enemies will definitely be stronger. I'm just thinking how I want to change Joffrey, because I'm gonna reduce his level for sure. And if I keep his level at level 15 with normal mode experience gains and more bosses and everything, like, I just want him to have a little bit more room to play around with. Maybe I'll make him like level 11, like he was in FE9. Because then he's still higher level than most of your units, and Paragon still, you know, is worth something, but he would kind of be the Jagan of your troop here. So, his luck is quite low, actually. Level 11... Caps. Wow, he needs 1 strength level to cap it. That's a little bit too much. Too little. Let's maybe give him like 23... 22 strength maybe? Strength is still his highest stat. I'm a little afraid to ask, but are Vibrants are gonna get nerfed? Yes. Yes, they are gonna get nerfed. However, they're not gonna get nerfed. Like, one change I made is that I reduced their movement by 1 across the board. Or not across the board, but the tier 2 from Wyvern Lords gets +1 movement. I removed that. So they all have the same movement as the tier 1 Wyvern Lord, which means that Falcon Knights are actually faster on them in movement-wise. Among other things, I'm gonna have bolt axes that are gonna be shown. I'm gonna have more Thunder Tomes. I'm gonna fiddle around with their bases and growths and stuff like that. So I think I'll be able to balance them. They'll still be good and useful. So yeah. What do you think we should do with Joffrey? I think we can either keep the general gist of how he was in FE9 alive, maybe. Lower his stats a bit, but make him very, very balanced in all of his stats, so he can pretty much go either way. Or we can try to keep the FE10 Joffrey alive and just make him like a very strong paladin. Focusing on strength, skill, and resistance. Hmm. Wait, what was the... I can't remember that. He does also have a relatively good magic stat, actually. Make him Sigurd? Well, what is Sigurd? Isn't Sigurd just, you know, OP and kills everything? It's like the only thing I know about Sigurd. Yeah, that's pretty much just Sigurd. In fact, his growths are extremely similar to Sigurd. Like plus minus 5 points, maybe. Let's try to keep the growths the same for now. We'll just lower his bases a little bit and see how it goes. Give him GBA Paladin promotion with access to all physical weapon types if you're making him the third lord. Well, he is gonna be more like this, what Soph is to Micaiah, so... but I could make him a great knight, yeah, that is true. Also, this is wrong for FE9, he has lances and bows. I don't know why it shows all 4 weapon types. Thyssen gets replaced by Renning. No. Renning will be playable, but... I mean, I could make his tier 3 be a great knight. That could work. Royal knight. I kinda like that idea. Like, he's a very, very balanced character. He gets all the weapon types, all the physical ones. But he doesn't really have any strengths either. Kinda like that idea. Let's give it a go. I already added a Mage Knight, so... let's do... it should be this one. So we're gonna copy the Glory Knight, because I need a new Glory Knight right here as well as the Silver Knight. And copy that one too. He can't be Alincha Soph. Alincha can actually fight. Well, she will be a tier 2 class now. She will still be able to fight. But, she will also have more availability, so she will be weaker. But, still be available. And good in the end. Will there be bad units? There will be units that I think are probably better than others. But nobody will be like so bad that you cannot use them unless you do heavy taint and grinding. That is the one thing I don't want to have. Like how you have to train Fiona in the base game where you stone a priest in part 1 finale and then keep attacking that priest with Fiona and letting him heal up so she can like get a couple levels to no longer be complete and utter dog shit. That's something I don't want. So what are we gonna call them? The general, Lance Paladins are called Glory Knights. I think that the tier 3 one should definitely be Royal Knight. Royal Knight. Royal Knight. Royal Knight. So bad but usable units, yes. Maybe make him a tier 3 who has decent starting stats for his part, but his growths are regular. Don't like making him a tier 3, because then he's gonna get even less experience. Like, you're essentially just never want to actually use him, because all your other units will get experience and he won't. And what kind of animals would you love to see the Goose forms of in future games? That's a good question. We joked around about, like, Mosquito Laguz and like Ant Laguz earlier because, or like not earlier, but in another stream, because I figured out that you can change the model sizes, so you could have like a mini hawk essentially. Otherwise, like bunnies are cool, tigers, lions, elephants maybe? I'm not sure. Will the Disciples of Order have access to tier 3 classes? It would make Act 4 not as much of a slog. So they will probably be stronger. It will be less of a slog. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with part 4 yet, but I'll figure something for it out. The thing is, I can't really make them tier 3 classes directly, because there are no generic tier 3 classes. All tier 3 classes in the game are player character tier 3 classes, and the same goes for their animations. So they would all have player character animations like Oscar's animation, Mia's animation, stuff like that. It could work, but... which is what they did, is like just repainting them in gold. Less quantity, more quality, I mean, yeah, probably. Alligators would be cool. Alligators would be pretty cool. Yeah, there are no generic tier 3 classes, so that would be an issue, and we haven't figured out model editing yet. Let's clear that up. What should be the name of the Knight class Joffrey starts out at then? Love to see plant 3 Dryad Lagus that use roots and vines to attack from 1 to 2 range. That sounds kind of cool. Imagine fighting 20 Sniper Leonardos. 20 golden Sniper Leonardos. A firm yes to obtain 20 golden Sniper Leonardos. Make green dragons and call them flying alligators. Hell yeah, brother. Gojira is back. What could we call the Royal Knights tier 2? I don't just want to call it Glory Knight, because that is the class that the generic ones use. I'm also back, I missed everything. Bring Berserkers back, already back. Glory Knight, Royal Knight... Valor Knight? Valor Knight works. Holy Knight? Great Knight? I could just make them Great Knights. No, Great Knights are the Axe Paladins, so I can't do that one. Pure Knights. Royal Guard. Exalted Knight. I think if I'm gonna use any of those, it's probably gonna be Valor Knight. Oh, Sal, right. Okay, let me just quickly change that to Valor Knight then. Valor Knight, Valor. And then I can ask, so... Yeah, my question was, I took away the Lycanthrope skill, right? Yeah, I don't remember if it was your hack, Sal, or if it was one of the other Radiant Dawn hacks, but I remember one of them made Lagus able to attack untransformed with punches. And if I can use that, like, coding-wise or feature-wise or whatever you want to call it, I can make transformed Lagus attack with that as well, which would allow me to like, circumvent the entire issue I have, because I cannot give them Lycanthropes, otherwise their stats get doubled. Loyal Knight to Royal Knight? That could work. Like, can I give Lagus a weapon they can always use, essentially? So question, if I make a new... doesn't work, that is a vanilla skill, SID final boss. What do you mean? Is this what allows Ashera to attack as she uses Strike Rank? But couldn't I just... couldn't I just give them that skill? They'll never get access to Ashera's attack. Units that are defeated that have that skill do not grant XP. Units that are defeated or units that defeat others? Because, like, maybe I could remove the fact that they get don't give experience? Because that's probably easier to remove in Ghidra than it is to find all the changes from the Lycanthrope skill. Or, like, properly edit them, because as I said, I've been trying to get the Lycanthrope, like, stat doubling to no longer work. Micaiah defeats the foe with SID final boss. Micaiah gains 0 EXP. Ah, right, because it would be for all Laguz. Is there really nothing like in the item menu maybe? Like a weapon attributes or something that allows them to attack? You mentioned Bolt Axe, will Flame Lance also return? Yes, yes it will. It's already in here in fact. Just need to change the damage type and stuff like that. Whatever solution you want, every avenue will go through Ghidra. Oh. But didn't you have punching Laguz untransformed, or was that somebody else? Because I remember somebody having it. Final only. Take a look at Shera maybe. I do on the player side, it allows him to attack untransformed. Yeah. Oh, only on the player side though. Yeah, because if you give them SID final boss on the player side, then it doesn't matter. They also get a boss icon if they're red units. Okay, so it works for player units, but it doesn't work for enemies then. I see. Enemy units can use them, but there's too many downsides to give it to them. Couldn't I theoretically then give the skill to player units, give every playable Laguz a unique class, meaning that they will be able to attack, but the other Laguz just work like vanilla, like they still double their stats. Because if the enemy Laguz double their stats, that's fine. I can balance around that. But if my playable Laguz with their growth rates and everything double their stats, that is the big issue I have. So theoretically, I make new classes for every Laguz, I give them the final boss skill, and then they will be able to attack transformed while enemy Laguz stay the same. That would work then, right? Because maybe that's the way to go then. It would theoretically mean that if you fight against them, you wouldn't get experience, like in 3.6. There's also a large amount of coding needed to make them work, because as soon as they have skills like masteries, they need to not have SID final boss and their mastery at the same time. Why? So it's not doable then. Fucks with the game when untransformed Laguz try to activate masteries. Well, I don't care about untransformed Laguz. I mainly care about transformed Laguz. Because what I would do is the regular enemies keep the Lycanthrope skill, which doubles their stats and allows them to attack. But all the player Laguz have a unique class, a unique transformed class, that does not have the Lycanthrope skill, but has the final boss skill that allows them to attack with their own, like, custom fangs. And transformed Laguz should still be able to proc masteries then, right? And also, I think I can figure out... I think you can fix the issue with Laguz masteries, like not working untransformed, if you just do some copying of files and renaming them. Dinosaur Laguz, kinda based. Honey Badger Wolverine Laguz, kinda based. Be meaning to ask, what is the crown and EXP button on the corner of the live stream all about? What? What do you mean? Make unique classes for each Lagus already. That's how I did it. Yeah, so it would theoretically work then. As long as I just give it to the transformed Lagus. Heto pair Lagus, true. Bear Lagus goes hard. Gorilla Lagus, wait, that's just Ike. Can Ike beat 100 Gorilla Lagus, guys? Okay, so what we're gonna do then is I'm just gonna try it out and see if it works for me. Lycan, rope. So I need to give all of them the lycanthrope skill back. Oh wait, only the transformed ones. You don't need to get it back. Yes, it works, but you need to make sure that Lagus don't have their mastery when untransformed, which means allied Lagus also need to be transformed in base. I see. But are you sure that them having the skill untransformed... Actually, it's probably better if they don't have it untransformed, like animation issues aside, because I want there to be a huge upside to transforming. Otherwise, when you have an extra skill set in base that is removed when you transform and gain the mastery. True, true. I was heavily considering just making Lagus instantly transform though. So you could overlap SID slot 6. Couldn't I theoretically... That doesn't solve the base issue. But couldn't I theoretically then have like have a custom skill that essentially does nothing, but it just says, like, takes up a slot? Wouldn't that work? Like, essentially I'd be giving the transformed Lagus the final boss skill. No, wait. I'd be taking... No, wait, but when they use the Satori sign, they keep the skill. It's not a class skill. Essentially, I'd need some eventing to make it possible, right? I need to write an event that checks, are you transformed? And if you are transformed, you get a skill that is like mastery disabled or something. I need a shitload of eventing. Gotcha. Gotcha. But mastery skills are mainly a player thing anyway, so... I think I can make it work. I will try to do it this way, I think. And we'll see. Let me just... I'll need a shitload of new classes then. Oh boy. So this is the regular lion, I think. That's the Screamier lion, so Screamier lion. Then we have Gifka lion. Or Ghidra. Gotcha. I can just use the King line, but I think I'll prefer to keep these classes as enemy classes. Yeah, both shifted and unshifted classes, yep. That is unfortunately how it works. Copy tigers. Just gotta copy them once for now, and then I can just copy those again when I need them. Copy Lagus. They both need to be unique, yeah, because of the transform ID. Okay, so we'll do that. Let's add a couple more. By the way, Sal, I don't know if you saw it, but I posted the address necessary to remove the speed requirement for stealing. So if you could add that to the repository, that'd be pretty cool. The other stuff I'm still working on, so you don't need to add any of that. I also don't know if transformed Lagus that don't have SID Lycanthrope can attack with SID Final Boss. But I assume you checked that? Oh. It is in the repo already. Okay, thank you. I did not check it, but... I mean, Ashera doesn't count as Lycanthrope, so... it should probably work. But you're right, I should check that. Let me just, copy all of these classes first. And then I'll take a look at that in my testing version. Hawk King, Hawk, Tua. Sorry, Zoomer brain activated. Raven, craw, craw. Someone in the Discord server just asked if it was okay to post an FE meme from Twitter that has got told no. Said okay, I'll just DM it to whoever I want to see it. Bruh. Bruh. God, this really does take a bit. It's like, what? 50 gazillion new classes is what it feels like. Can enemy herons use Galders? Is there an AI for enemies to use Galders? Because if there isn't, then I don't need to make these guys into new classes. I don't think there is. Okay. Because in that case, I will just keep them as they are. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Yes, indeed. It is the song called Gears of Fortune. It's a really good one. Played a little bit of Ritual of the Night, but not too much. Actually, let me remove Dragon King, because... yeah, that is Diginsea. That would just be confusing. Okay, there we go. If you guys have any music recommendations, then go ahead. Maybe some more Ritual of the Night wouldn't be bad. I only have like a handful, I think 1 or 2 songs from Ritual of the Night in here, in my list. I have 45 music songs on my list, but I feel them repeating because I play it a lot. Sigma Boy? No. Good song. A funny song. That I can actually also sing, because it has been embedded into my brain from the memes. But I don't want any vocals on my background music. At least not when I'm streaming. Okay. What would be the best way to test this? I think I'm just gonna save this. Close it down. Save. And we're gonna be loading my testing version. Turn on what I sent you. In the music chat. Sora no Kiseki. Maybe. Maybe afterwards. I want to go through this one first. But then I can take a look at there. At that, rather. What's with the ass? I don't know, like, the Trails in the Sky series, I tried it out before and was just yapping upon yapping, so I just kind of have a bad experience of it. Ease and I think Trails in the Sky is what it was, right? I mean, the soundtrack so far was good, but like, I just don't have a super high opinion of it because of like, it being so boring when I played it. What was I gonna do? Oh, right, the Laguz. Laguzers.
Horse. The horse, Peter. The horse.
Final boss.
Peter the horse. The horse, Peter.
Horse is my testing horse. Donald, you were literally listening to Trails of Cold Steel track for God knows how long. I know, but I just... when I think of Trails, the Trails series, I don't think of good. My first immediate thought is I associate it with the definition of mid. Even though I've not played it for much, but my brain just associates it with that. So even though it's just a soundtrack, my brain is like, eh. You know? That's the point. Even though they're probably not even bad games. Okay, let's take a look. I'm just gonna use the Tiger. Tiger Fang. Fang. There we go. Wait, what is the... is it just final boss, the order thing? Judge. Final only is, I think, the flag I need. So we'll use that. Okay, we have that for testing, but music is good nonetheless, so turn on Silver Will or Arrival Existence, you won't regret it, probably will get flashbacks on the first one. Yeah, after, like, this one is done in 4 minutes and I can play it after that. Alright, that's the testing one done.
The horse, Peter.
Okay, yeah, he can, okay, he can equip it untransformed because I added it as a class skill. But point being, when you transform, you can attack with it. Despite not having the Lycanthrope skill. Okay. Astra buff for True Blades, the 5 hits only cost 1 durability, not 5. Well, yeah, the thing is, if they cost 5, it's dog shit. Other than, like, the tower. Not fair when compared to the other Master skills. They're all gonna be reworked. I've already made it so that the Mastery skills are no longer just gonna be instant kills. I've already changed that, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so we've confirmed that it works, though. Yeah, okay. Astra can't really be reworked, though. You'd need to do Ghidra stuff for it. But yes, it is a very different skill, that is true. I'll get there when I get there. I think that's the gist of what I'm gonna go with. We've confirmed that it works, so that means all of these transformed classes will be getting the SID final boss. Let me make sure I picked the right one. Highest. Oh, I think it's on the character. Starte. Yeah. SID final boss. So we're gonna add that in. Gifka. The lion and the small dog. Issue is that on every other class you see them proc it 5 times. So Nephili impale animation 1 hit. Impale animation 1 hit. Impale animation 1 hit. If she had Astra. Yes, but you may be able to change that if you fiddle around a bit with the configuration for the battle animations, which I have been fiddling around with quite a bit. So I could maybe change it to be like the regular attacks. Because I'm assuming that there is a special animation specifically for Astra that is not there for the other classes, but if you add the files for it there that it needs, then it will use them. And if you just copy the files for the regular attacks, then that should theoretically work. But I'd need to test it. Okay, sorry Sonic, but we're gonna be playing some of the songs that Azafure has suggested. How is it different from a depth skill? What do you mean? Soul on Reverse is just a Colossus animation. Yeah. That's true. That's honestly fine. Just having one mastery. The only place where it's truly an issue is, I think, probably the Astra skill. But again, I think you can just make it attack, like use the normal attack animation for Astra, which would make it look a lot more natural than using Impale 5 times. I will eventually fiddle with it, Sal, so I can probably let you know how that works, but that'll take a while, so unless it's something you need immediately and immediately want me to take a look at, like within the near future, I will just take a look at it later. I mean, the difference between Astra and Adept, other than the amount of hits, that's pretty much what I mean. If you change the files, the animation files, then you might be able to get it to look like just 5 regular attacks, as if you procced Astra 5 times, for example. Or Adept, sorry. I'm working on totally different stuff. Okay, well, if you're in that direction, then let me know and I can take a look for you, because as I mentioned, I have quite a lot of experience with animations since the CMU. Alright, let's continue with this. Lycanthrope. Meow. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. And you know what? Can I change the icons for these? I can. Let me change the icon here because, yeah, that seems more natural. Max amount of skills is 18 for a unit, so I need to remove a lot of my hidden skills and code those conditionals differently. Wow. Purrs a lot strikes again. Who the... Oh, I'm Purrs a lot, okay. But why? Why am I Purrs a lot? Contrary to what some people may believe, I am indeed not a cat girl. Crazy, I know. Who would have thunk it? You made meow 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 sounds? Damn, crazy, I didn't even realize. The cat brain rot has reached my brain. Please murder me now. It's the wrong one. Dragon Prince. Okay. Now I do need to change these IDs. Whooper's influence. It's so over. Okay, we're gonna slim these down a tad bit. Maybe slim this one down a bit as well. And we're gonna have to take a look at all the... Oh, I just realized... Ooh, you know what? I've been listening to Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories OST lately. It's an actual banger. Let me put that back on and make it a little bit louder on my end. I loved playing that game on the PS1 as a kid. I still have it on disc. What did I want to do? Right, the characters. So, we're gonna go through them one by one and change these IDs to them. The first one we get is Voluk, and Voluk is a wolf, and he's the only wolf you get, so I can just do... I think I'll just call it Wolf... UT... Voluk. And this will be Wolf T Voluk. By the way, you have a good music playlist, liked some of the tracks from there. Yeah, I just randomly threw it together based on what some people recommended me. And it worked out fine. And I think I'll change the names of this as well. Wolf Voluk, just so I have them... Oh wait, I should not change it here. I need to make a new Wolf Voluk. Or Volu, or whatever the fuck pronounce that. Wolf Voluk. Okay. Then after that, the first one you get is... Let's just do Nyla next, because she's also there. And I think I'll just call this Queen Wolf. UT... Nike... Wolf... Nike... Queen Wolf... Nike... Oh, and of course I need to change the icons again. For these. Right, we're just gonna copy that. And I think Wolf OT, Wolf T, Wolf T, or let's do it proper, let's do it Queen Wolf T Nike to keep the same structure going. Then we have Vika, and Vika is here, Bird Tribe F. So I'm gonna call this Raven UT, Vise, Raven, Vise. They're called Raven and Crows. I should probably... Are they called both names? I should probably just call them one of the two. I think Crow is the one they seem to be using more properly. Crow King. They do use Raven sometimes. Crows is derogatory? Is it? I thought it was just a diff in the lore. Oh, okay. Makes it even weirder that that's what the in-game calls them then. Maybe I'll just use Raven then. Raven Vise. Yeah, okay. I'll just stick to one name. Okay, and then we're gonna change the beak. Vika? More like Pika. Okay. Then up next we have Muarim, who is a tiger, and I already know I'm gonna need 2 more tigers. So we're gonna advanced copy. No, we're just gonna copy. It's gonna be quicker if I do it like this. 1 for every beast Laguz. For now, yeah. Add 2 more of these. For Akiza and Mordecai. Okay, we'll do Tiger, UT, Morty. Tiger, Morty. Tiger, Morty. Yes, he's just called Morty in Japan. It's not Mordecai, it's just Morty. Same with Edward just being called Eddie. Right, we'll do Tiger, T, Morty, Tiger, Morty. Hey, Morty. Hey, Morty. I turned myself into a tiger, Morty. Wait, I did Morty. I was gonna do Mordecai. Oops. Well, let's do it now. Tiger, Muarim. No, not Mordecai. Muarim is what I meant to say. Tiger, Muarim. Tiger, Muarim. And that needs to be Tiger, UT, Muarim. Oh, actually, I should keep it as Muarim because that's what the in-game calls him. So, remove that. Muarim. Yeah. Best guess for fixing availability for Tormod's crew would be to add them to Ike's crew when he gets Dawn Brigade units. No, I can show you what my plan was for the availability. This is not comprehensive as in this will include everything. There's a couple of things in here that may change a little bit, but this is the general idea. Yeah, so my question was, when you do like you just did with the new classes copied for the Tigers, do you need to change any other files after, or everything you need gets transferred when you copy? Everything you need gets transferred, but you want to make sure that the JID is different. Because I'm not quite sure what happens if you have 2 of the same JIDs, but you really shouldn't. The other IDs are fine, but this is essentially the unique name, the unique internal name of the class that gets referenced. And if you have the same JID, then 2 classes get referenced when only 1 should. And maybe the game only takes the one that's highest in the order, or I'm not sure. But this is the one that needs to be different. The rest can just be the same. You can also use the advanced copy to only copy specific things into specific things. It changes both, otherwise if you don't switch the JID. Yes. It's the same with this ID as well, because what the game essentially does is the name here it says, for the name, reference this ID. And if you have the same ID, then it will reference the same name, because it's referencing the same ID. Which works fine for some things, but the JID always should be different for every class. Where was I? Tiger, T, Mawarim. But yeah, sorry, I also forgot to mention this. So what I'm gonna do with Tormod is I'm just gonna let them stay in the Dawn Brigade. Same with Nyla and Raphael. I'm just gonna have them stay in the Dawn Brigade. Nyla will be nerfed heavily, so she's an actual unit instead of just a kill button. And, yeah. Availability will be much better. Nea, Lucia, and Leanne will stay around. Mordecai and Lef will stay around with Joffrey. Stuff like that. Okay, thank you. I've been doing just that for class and weapons. Just wondering if I was missing anything else after. No, it's pretty much the same thing. The JID for classes, PID for units or for characters, and IID for items. Like, the main ID you find at the very top, essentially, always needs to be different. The rest doesn't matter. Or, well, should ideally also be different, but, you know. Now the question will be, make Ike more balanced and not the delete button. I'm gonna have to see how I will balance Ike. That's a question for part 3, and I am nowhere near part 3. I want to properly balance part 1 and 2 first, I think. At least part 1. But yeah, okay, so we have Muwarim, Tiger, Muwarim. There we go. And let's just continue onwards. We have Nyla, we have Muwarim, we have Vize. I think I'm gonna change these just for clarification as well. The Raphael, yeah. It's this one. Prince Egret. Egret are what herons are called in Japan. I'm not quite sure what Egret even means, but Egret is what they call herons. Raphael. Egret, Raphael. Let's just change all of these so they're easier to differentiate. Ryusion, that's Racing. And then Liarn, or Lerny. Egret is a surname of a character in Trails of Cold Steel. You cannot escape it. To balance part 1, we must nerf Meg. She is too powerful. She is buffed. I wouldn't call her super good, but she's no longer absolute trash. She has a unique thing going with her because she comes with a 1-2 range Bright Blade, which does okay damage, is quite accurate, gives her more skill, and is 1-2 range, but cannot crit. And she comes with Disarm. So you can use her to disarm from range and then steal items with Soph or Haveti. And that is the unique thing she has going for her. Her stats are also, like, they got a small buff, I think. Yeah. She gets her Bright Blade PRF, which is just what Braum gifted her to get her going. She's not a OP unit, but she has a unique thing going for her that makes you consider maybe using her. Which is all she really needs to be. Like, she doesn't need to be super OP, and I think I also increased the female general caps for speed for her. And if I'm gonna be able to get conditional branched promotions, let's say, to work, then which I think I will be able to by going through some loops, then she will also get the ability to reclass essentially into a Falcon Knight, which I thought would be funny. Okay, we have all of these. Then up next we have Mordecai, but we already did Mordecai. A Tiger Morty, let's put... I wish you could pull multiple of these. One thing that I also really hate in Paragon, and I know it's a very nitpicky thing, but I still absolutely hate it, is the fact that when you drag something, like you saw I dragged it up and then the cursor here went back to the bottom. To be clear, I despise Meg. I get her killed on purpose all the time. Well, I like Meg. She's okay. She's a bit funny. And again, the goal is to make every character usable, but not really OP. So if you want to use her, you can. If you don't want to, well, you don't have to. Let's do Lef. Ah, that's this one. So we'll do Cat, UT, Rev? Cat, Rev. That's her Japanese name, Rev. Cat, UT, Rev. Okay, she can live. I mean, the thing she really is able to do as like a unique selling point to consider training her is she can sometimes disarm enemies, and you get her relatively early, and her PRF helps her to disarm enemies. So even at the start, you have a reasonably good chance to get a couple of disarms here and there, get you a couple more items to use. Okay, that's Rev. Oh wait, she needs Cat T Rev. Nealucci. Okay. Nealucci is up next, and Nealucci uses this one, I'm pretty sure, yes. So we're gonna do Raven underscore UT untransformed Nealucci. Let me make sure he's actually called Nealucci. Yeah, he is still called Nealucci in the original, okay. Raven UT Nealucci, Raven Nealucci, Raven Nealucci. Raven the Nealucci, Raven Nealucci. There we go. You can get your beak back, buddy. We already did Leanne. Then we get to the Grail Mercenaries, where the first Laguz you will get is gonna be Kiza. So, Tiger, UT, Kiza. I think that's how he's spelled in, or is it just with an I? I think it's just Kiza, yeah, with an I, not with a Y. So let's do Kiza, Tiger, Kiza, Tiger, Kiza. There we go. And Tiger, T, Kiza, Tiger, Kiza. I feel like when if I'm gonna do this for like hours upon end, then I will probably get those words like so ingrained into my brain, where my brain just goes, oh, Tiger Kiza, Cat Rev. Oh, that reminds me, Cat Rev is what you should be called, yeah. Then you get Liar. And Liar will be your secondary thief for the Grail Mercs. So cat, it's just called liar, yeah, with an I. Liar, cat liar, cat liar, cat liar, there we go. Then we have Ranulf. Cat, UT, Lei. That's his Japanese name. He's called fucking Lei, like the chips. Cat, T, Lei. Might be a little bit too loud, the music. Let me turn that down just a little bit. Liar, liar, sire. Sire, she is a liar. Okay, to do the icons for this one too. Okay, we have Liar, we have Renolf, Yanaf, Olki, Skrimir. Those are the Hawks. Hawk! Hawk, UT. Is he still called Yanaf? Yeah, Yanaf is still Yanaf. It's just Olki has changed. Yanaf. Hawk. Enough. Hawk T enough. Hawk underscore enough. Gotta copy those. Yeah, this is gonna... I mean, I did mention that I was gonna fix all the Laguz. I'm not quite sure how interesting this is to watch. It's just grunt work essentially, but you know, it needs to be done before I can really continue doing the testing for part 1. Because there's all the Laguz enemies on there. Okay. Vulci. Vulci. Hawk. Vulci. Hello, Norian. How's it going? I'm currently trying to fix the Laguz mechanics for the playable characters. And for all of it, honestly. So, yeah. Hawk, Vulci. Hawk, Vulci. Vulci is just Ulki. Let me skip this song, it feels a bit weird. There we go. No, it's actually a little bit loud on your end. Let me put it down and put it a little bit louder on my end. There we go. Okay, so we have Yanaf, we have Olki. Skrimir is next. Yeah. Here. Lion. Skrimir. Lion, sorry. UT Skrimir. Lion Skrimir. He's still called Skrimir, right? Yes. Okay. Lion Skrimir. Lion T Skrimir. Lion Skrimir. If you guys have any further question, let me know. Slept for like 9 hours. I've been running on 6 hours almost every day now. I don't know, I just... Either I don't get tired and I'm like awake until 5 AM, or I'm like... No, like, even if I wake up, I'm usually not really tired. So I don't know what it is. I just don't get sleepy. Let me change Gifka's icon to be the same as Skrimir, because he's not a royal. Okay, that is Skrimir done, yes. We already did Ryusion. Naizala. Crow, King Crow. Let's do... I think I'm just gonna call it King Raven, UT Naizala. Yeah, still Naizala, okay. King Raven, Naizala. King Raven, Naizala. There we go. Okay, we have Naizala. Up next is Kezda. I'm pretty sure Kezda is a tiger, right? I actually have to look it up on the website because he's not a playable character. He is a cat, actually. Ooh. I always thought he was a... Okay. You know what? I don't think I actually mind that. Black cat. Yeah, Kezda will be playable. Oh no, wrong one. This is the one. So let's get a cat for Lesda. Kezda. Not Lester. Certainly not Mo. Uno. Dos. UT. I think he's still just called Kezda, yeah. Okay. Kezda. Cat. Kezda. Kezla actually has a unique palette, funnily enough. Yeah, he's like a black cat, which looks pretty cool, actually. I think Kezda will be a surprisingly fun unit for most people based on the idea I had for him. Okay, we have Kezda, Gifka, King Lion Gifka. Wait, he uses the same King Lion class as a base. Interesting. Oh, Gifka does get the stronger King Fangs. Interesting. Well, he's not a King Lion in this book. So, Lion, UT, Gifka, Lion, UT, just Lion, Gifka. I think he's still called, yeah, still called Gifka, that's correct. Lion, T, Gifka. Gifka, there we go. Their stats don't really matter too much right now, it's just, they can't have the same IDs, so I need to fix that right now. Then we have, let's do Mufasa. YouTube doesn't like this word, so gonna have to watch out how I pronounce it. So I'm just gonna use Mufasa. Okay. Lion, King Lion, UT. King Lion. King Lion. Okay. Let me just copy this. T. Lion. Wait, what? Oh, King Lion, that's what it is. Okay, that's almost all of them. No, never mind. There's a shit ton of Lagus in the end. Well. Go, there we go. Then next up we have Tabarn. Hawk Tua King. King Hawk. Tabarn. Tabarn. King Hawk. Barn. UT. King Hawk T Tabarn. King Hawk Tabarn. Right, now comes the dragons, and we have Gort. This should be... Enna is a red dragon, right? Yeah. Yeah, she's a red dragon, okay. So this is Gort then? Yes, okay. Female red dragon, yes. I'm just double checking because... yeah. Dragon. Let's do red dragon. UT Gort. Red Dragoon. No. Don't be gooning. Red Dragon Gort. Red Dragon T Gort. Red Dragon Gort. Yes, he legitimately is just called Gort. I honestly think Gort is such a funny name. Hear me out. What about RD Date Simulator? Who would you date, though? Red Dragon UT Enna. Red Dragon Enna. Red Dragon T Enna. Red Dragon Enna. Oh. Red Dragon. No. Female and male red dragons are probably the biggest gender differences to ever appear in a single class stat-wise. Yeah, but I think that's more so due to the fact that... Well, actually, now that I look at it, yeah, you're right. Gareth is like super physical, while Enna is super magical with much more speed, but less bulk. I guess that is true. Though I think it's, if anything, it's more of a inconsistency, because I don't think they really thought of Gort when they made red dragons. Enna is half red, half white dragon. Okay, that explains it then. I would date Valtome, of course. Well, if you're into that, then go ahead. I mean, Valtome seems like the type of person who likes being choked. Anyways, Nazir is up next. White Dragon, UT Nazir. White Dragon, Nazir. I place White Dragon in defensive mode and end my turn. Nazir, then we have Kurt. Dragon Prince, UT. Is he just called Kurt? I think he's not even Kurt. No, he is called Kurt Naga. Okay. Kurt Naga. But unironically, it's probably Titania, though she doesn't seem like a dateable character. Titania, no. She does seem like the type to settle down eventually. Kurt Naga. Dragon Prince Kurt Naga. Little bit of a long name. But Titania is one of the like top tier Tellius waifus for sure. Actual peak. So there's a lot of other good ones too. Okay, we have that. Kesda, yeah, I think we're finally through. Dear God. Probably in the top 5 of the best FE hags. Isn't Titania like early to mid 30s? That's not quite that old. I like to think that she loved Grail, but after he died, she's heartbroken, therefore doesn't want to. I mean, yes, but I do feel like eventually she would settle down and probably marry one of the Grail mercs. I mean, if anything, I thought that Titania would have fit very well for like maybe Boyd, but I guess Boyd is actually a lot younger than her, because I always thought like Boyd and Mist, which is the official pairing as far as I know, sounds very weird. You'd think it would be Boyd, it would be Mist and Rolf who end up together. Like Riz Titania would work. Riz Titania would work, or Mia Riz. While on topic, I probably should add a couple of like new paired endings. I think that could be pretty cool. Tellius has so miserable endings, people either disappear or are in weird relationships. Let me note that down in here. Let's put it right here. New character endings / pairing. Rolf. Mist. Riz. Titania. Riz. Mia. Boyd is a lot like Ike, that's the connection. I guess. Mist apparently cries when she gets married to Boyd, what the fuck? Not tears of joy, if I recall correctly. What the fuck? Is it ready for the Oliver paired ending? Oh god. Oh god. The token gay character is gonna end up with Raisin. No, I'm joking. Gonna end up with Leanne to make all the fans mad. Riz is a cool character, one of my favorites in Tellius. Imagine also Riz Mia giving strength speed to Riz, since he wanted to be a merm. Strength is too much for a merm though. Yeah, I mean, these are probably not gonna mean anything, but I can note them down, I might as well. Okay, dear God, so we are now through with this entire debacle, which means giving them the skill back. I just need to adjust their bases again, I think. Yeah. I definitely need to adjust those spaces, but I think I can just advanced copy them in. It's just for the tiger. It's the things that I changed. Astrid Makalov is as bad as Oliver Lian. No, it's not that bad. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Astrid Makalov either, but that is not nearly as bad as Oliver Lian. Like, Makalov is just a very flawed character, and Astrid is like, oh, I can fix him. Oliver Lian would be like, hey, I know I tried to sell your brother into slavery, but let's bang. Like, no, that is way worse. Let me drink something. Oliver Lian. Scary. Scary shit. That's bang, not war. Oh, okay. Oliver Valtome paired ending. Okay. Well, actually, no, we're not quite finished yet. But that's fine, I don't need to finish everything. You should go for it. It does sound a bit funny, doesn't it? You know what? I think it's kind of funny. I'll add it in here, but I'm not quite sure if I'll do it. Valtome. And you know what? That does technically mean that we can add Valtome as a playable somewhere. Maybe for like part 4? I don't know. But he's an enemy in part 4. Maybe for the tower. Valtome tower. Sure, I'll just add him in for now. That sounds like a funny idea. And you get a couple more late recruits. Yes, Valtome bros, we won. I wouldn't call that a victory, but it is certainly something, alright. Okay. Okay. What we need to do right now, though, is we definitely need to change Voluk's Wolfang. Oh. We need to add 3. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do 3. Oh god. Sal, if you're still in chat, how does the leveling up work for the fangs? If I give him a new fang, I'm assuming I still have to make 3, but can I just name them like Wolfang Oluk 1, Wolfang Oluk 2, Wolfang Oluk 3, and they will automatically pick that as the next one that they level up to? Nail? Yeah, they're just called Nail in Japan. Would that work? I haven't really fiddled around with Lagus weaponry before. I know that we seemingly have gotten it to work for the CMU, so maybe I should take a look at that. Not right now, though. Yes, 1, 2, 3 system and only A till SS. Okay. So, Wolfgang, Uluk. Nothing else works. Gotcha. If I'm gonna do it like this anyways, I might as well Oluk Fang, keep the naming structure intact. 2, 3. Can you transfer Radiant Dawn to LT since LT supremacy? One day. One day. God willing. Name. Doop doop boop. Right. Wait. Are the stats the same? No. I think I accidentally copied this one over. But it's only the weapon rank and the damage that's different, so I can just change that. Okay, and I gotta give it the final boss thing, I think. And I'm just gonna do this one for the characters that are actually gonna be coming up. I also saw FE10 on LT abandoned though. Yeah, I looked into that as well. And unfortunately it is abandoned. I do know that I think it was Wasdai worked on a proper version for that. Though I'm not quite sure if he like abandoned it as well or not. Okay, but we have the Oluk Fangs, which we can give Oluk. There we go. Oh, and I need to change the transform ID, of course. JID. Okay. Yeah. Was thy goat? Anyways, it's better than one with gay armors. Yeah, that's like one of the things I found incredibly weird. That I will still not understand about FEU. Is like, they're making a port or a like reimagining or a rebalance, and it's almost like a dick measurement contest who can have the most gay characters. Like, there was this one that you're referencing to right now, where it's like an FE11 or I think FE3 reimagining in GBA, and there's a couple of cool ideas, but they were also like, you know, Dolph and Massilan, the two bald armor knights who are like twins, like twin brothers, they're now gay lovers. I'm like, excuse me? That, like, I don't know, that seems like a pretty huge character conflict. Because they just, I assume they're actually like twins. I assume they're actually twin brothers. Which just makes it incredibly weird. Like, are they gay loving twin brothers? In my Fire Emblem game, more likely than you think. Like, I don't mind a couple here and there where it kind of fits, but it really does feel like the people on FEU just try to one-up each other on who has the most gay and the most gayest characters, regardless if it fits in the story or not. Everything is tolerable if the game is good, but this is just funny. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's a couple of scenes in like Ekisax when I played that hack that I didn't quite like either, because I felt like they went a little bit overboard and went on for a little bit too long. But it was still a pretty good hack overall. Okay, we have Wolf Olug. Let's do Nyla. Reimagination of Arcania with adding newer archetypes. It's one way to look at it. Okay, we have Nyla, we have you. Let me also do the changes for Vika and Muarim, since they will appear relatively soon as well. And I want to make sure when they first appear they're not bugged. I can make weapons for them too. I'll do the transformation thing first. Muarim. There we go. Now we need 3 new fangs for Nyla. I guess I could just change these fangs, but I want to leave the option open to maybe have generic female wolves as enemies. So I'm gonna keep these as they are. And just make new Great Fangs. I don't like them being called Great Fangs, though. So let's do Wolf Fang, Nike. Nike Fang. The Nike Fang. They're producing fangs now? Holy fuck. King Fang. I'll just call it Wolf Fang. That's they're called Wolf Fang here too. Nike Fang sounds like either a new like modern thing that Nike, the company, brings out for your dogs, like to give your dog swag and be like incredibly overpriced, or it sounds like a fucking Chinese, almost like a Chinese Fang, like, or Fang, name. Like, I don't know, you go to like a remote village in like the middle of nowhere in China, and you like come across a guy who's like, my name is Nikkei Fang. Or like you're reading Romance of the Three Kingdoms and this is like a random side character. I'm still not quite sure if her name is actually pronounced Nike or Nikkei, or it's probably Nikkei, I would assume. Yeah, because Nyla's Japanese name is just Nikkei. Would be interesting to know. Nike, it's Greek. I have no clue how to pronounce Greek things. I did not learn Greek in school. So I guess it's Nike then. Because Nike sounds a little bit more Greek to me. Does Nike mean anything in Greek? If it's Greek? Yeah, that works. We'll give her the locked item Fang. Ronaldo should be sponsored by Adidas Fangs. Ah, so hacking true, brother. So hacking through. Visited FE11 Lex page on FEU, saw you there, saw on your account that Oof is also there on FEU. Wholly unbased, he's not even banned. Yeah, Oof has like this thing where he is way worse than I am in a lot of ways, or says way worse things, but he kinda just gets away with it, up to a point where he's like, if there's drama happening and people are like, I don't know, posting screenshots of me or of other Dunclive members. Like there was this one schizo on 4chan on the FEG board, the Fire Emblem board, who kept posting like screenshots of like a Bundy who he had a hate boner for. And we don't even really know why. I think it's because he was like, if he's the person who we think he is, then he was like a dude who was like, oh yeah, I always S-rank Noe and Midori. And then people were like, that's a little bit weird, like, and it's like, no, it's not weird, it's not weird. And then it eventually went down to him like saying, oh, I only goon to lolly hentai because the bodies are more petite. And then we banned him because that's pretty damn fucked up. And he is mad because I think Bundy was the one who banned him in the end, who did like the final, who pulled the hammer out, the ban hammer. And ever since then, he had a hate boner for a Bundy. So there was like a couple of screenshots that he posted on Feg, I think it was. I think like a year ago. And Oof always is not included in any of the drama screenshots. Doesn't matter what the topic is. They always seem to just not screenshot any of Oof's messages and completely ignore him for whatever reason. Up to a point where he is like, oh, include me in the screenshot, please. Include me in the screenshot, please. Actually kind of funny. But yeah, some people really do just have way too much time on their hands in regards to internet drama. Like, that schizo is still active, I'm pretty sure. Oof just has... Oof has diplomatic immunity! Beak Vise 1. Oof has diplomatic immunity. It's so over. Makes you wonder how Oof is a hidden mastermind. He is a mind, I wouldn't call it a master. Nah, Oof is actually relatively smart. Pretty smart. He's just incredibly unhinged. And I don't even think he's necessarily like... I don't think he means it badly. Or what is it called? I don't think he has ill intentions. The vast majority of the times, he's just incredibly unhinged when he's on the internet. He's mentioned before that he uses the internet as kind of an outlet for what he can't do in real life, essentially. It's like he's a much more reserved person in real life, I think. Let's do Moarim next. The Fang. And then we should be good to go. Terminally online. Tiger Fang. Lawarim. One. Was the purpose of 4chan... What? Please, rewrite that question. I don't quite understand. Or the mods got to it? Got to what? Feg? Or what are you talking about? Or Chan? Yeah, but what was the purpose of it? Was? Isn't was the purpose? What do you mean by was the purpose? Okay, Mawarim. Mawarim, there you go. You get your own premium fang. Did I give Vika her fang already? Her beak? Yes, I did. Okay, finally. So... Oh, actually, no. I need to add final only to them as well. Ah. It's so fucking over. So fucking over. Oop, there we go. Okay, and I think the way I'm gonna deal with it actually, to say things online with anonymity that you wouldn't say in real life. Well, the intention originally was more so that, like, if you talk to somebody in real life, you see how they look like, you see what they sound like, you see what they wear, and you get a lot of clues onto them, like, or you hear about them, and but if you're anonymous, then the only thing that counts, in theory, is the IDs you bring on the table. So if somebody has good ideas, then they have good ideas. You don't even know if it's somebody you like or dislike. But even that has kind of disappeared there. Like 4chan, it was... The best way I can describe it is... And I used to browse 4chan as a... when I was like 14 to I think 16 was when I mostly browsed it. But it was actually mostly X, the paranormal board. That one was pretty fun, or Out for Outdoors, because I was really into hiking at that time. And occasionally Paul, but even that one I actually didn't quite like that much. And it was kind of like the Wild West. You would find everything on there. Everything, the good and the bad. But eventually, it just became so infested with people who are trying to pull things or trying to like influence public opinion or some other things, or literal federal agents like the I think it was the CIA or the FBI. They admitted or accidentally showed themselves to be using 4chan to post there before. So it just, and I think the leak also confirmed that. So it eventually just turned from like the Wild West to like a echo chamber of sorts, where it was just very specific things being allowed on there, which made it incredibly boring. It basically got replaced by tourists and Redditors because it got a lot of attention in 2016, yeah. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, I use Instagram for like memes. Like, I browse memes in there and me and my friends send each other memes. And the fucking memes or the reels you find on Instagram nowadays is like more offensive than 4chan was 10 years ago. And Instagram is much more mainstream. We in Russia call these people propagandons. Gandon means cunt. Propagandon? I'm gonna have to remember that word. That's a funny one. Okay, right. What we have to do now, though, is we have to take a look at the bonuses that the fangs will give. How does Laguz weapon work? Do they automatically change when your unit's weapon rank upgrades? Yes. From what Sal told me, you have to stick to the structure of... you give it a name, like in my case Wolffang, Oluk, 1. Then the second one after that, or the one that you upgrade into, has to have the exact same name, but with a 2, and has to go from A rank to S rank. And then the third one has to be 3 and star, which means SS rank. So, as long as you're in that system, it should theoretically work if you make new ones. But I haven't tested it myself yet, that's just what I've been told. And I know you can do it, because the CMU has done it. And I think they've done it like that, so... I'm just gonna assume that it works like that. Anyways, we need to take a look at Voluk and his stats. Yeah, let me remove Joffrey. We're gonna go through Voluk. We can actually test part 1 now. FE10, Voluk. So these are Voluk's stats. And honestly, those bonuses might just be fine. They're just half his stats, obviously, because of Wildheart. I see, interesting. Yeah, I was wondering how it would work with CMU for units that aren't usually Laguz. I'll go try that too. Yeah, it should work, I think. But I can honestly just probably have it give him those stats. Though... No, it's final only, so theoretically, he should only get these bonuses when he's transformed. Let's test that out. Let's just give him these bonuses for now. 1 magic, 6 skill, 6 speed, 4 defense, 2 res. Let's just copy those stat bonuses over. And I need to do the stat bonuses flag there. And theoretically, this should mean that whenever he's transformed, it will show these stats as plus stats. So you could see that they're his bonus stats. And hopefully that works. Let's... If you want the stat bonuses to only apply when transformed, I need to have different weapons untransformed. It is so over. Okay, even more work. Okay. Oh well. That means I gotta do it. So that is indeed what I want. But does that work with the transformation stuff? Oh, Luke Fang 1. I'm not about to make FE10 no Laguz edition. No, I do actually like the Lagus. A lot of people thought that Lagus were incredibly underpowered in FE1. Oh no, it crashed! What? Oh my god, please tell me it's saved. Please tell me it's saved. Please, please tell me it's saved. Oh, no! Oh no! Yeah, I meant FE9. I need to do it all again. Isn't there like an autosave? About to see who crashed harder, Dawnlord or Paragon. Oh my fucking god. Oh, I'm not gonna do this shit again. I need a break from this for at least a little bit, so we're just gonna be looking at Joffrey in part 2 for now. That is just... Oh. Yeah, we're gonna take a little bit of a break from the Lagus things. I can't do all of that shit again. That's just... Oh my god. Remember to save, kids. You don't want to end up like me. Oh. Joffrey... Yeah, we're just gonna have to take a look at part 2 then for a little bit. And decide what we want to do with those units as a general overview. Oh, nope. There we go. And Oscar, it's the third one. All right. How about that no Lagus edition? No, I do like the Lagus mechanics. I really like them in FE9. I thought they were incredibly fun and also good enough to be worth using. But in FE10, they're either complete and utter dog shit or they're incredibly busted. And there's no in between. Which is why I'm not a fan of the doubling of Lagus bonuses. Oh. Oh god. I was just sent something by Sal. This is what his item menu for Lagus looks like. Oh god. I feel your pain. And I'm not even sure if that's everything. I think there's a lot of them missing that's like further down. Dear God. Dear God. Oh, Radiant Dawn might be hated sometimes. Yeah, let's just continue with Joffrey for now. Oh God, he sent more! Oh my, there's like 5 of these! Wait, it starts at number 472 and it ends at 876. 400 item slots just with Laguz weapons. Oh. Oh, why? Are you goddamn kidding? 400! 400! Well, I'm gonna do them one at a time. Good lord. From 582 till 780 is different stuff. Okay, so it's only 200 then, right? Need to get a break or watch Fatman pics for some time. Contrary to popular belief, I am not into fat women. That is just propaganda that Pastor is spreading. Or, well, kind of a running gag, if anything. I think Donut is breaking. I am breaking apart. I think Joffrey had 8 before, right? And we reduced it to 5 strength. So he's at 21 right now. Which should still mean he caps it, most likely. Magic can honestly stay that way. Okay, magic base is fine for imbue. Skill, he has 8 skill. Let's maybe also pump that down by 3. That's less than the number of red units you made disappear. Dear God. 20 speed is honestly almost fine. I'm gonna reduce it to 18. Since I do want him to have some kind of weakness. And luck. I mean, his luck growth is rather lackluster. Let's maybe make his luck growth 20 again, so he has some kind of weakness, and we'll give him 14. So eventually he will have some luck problems, if we're gonna give him the custom new class. Where is it? Valor Knight. Okay. Alright, no more Laguz in my CMU. They were already a pain in the ass to balance compared to normal units. Well, if you do this like I did, then they will be better balanced, but it's a lot of grunt work. It's not difficult work, but man, is it tedious. Alright, he has 18 defense. It is honestly fine. Let's just do 17, just to nerf him a little bit. And then his res is 15. He has a very good res growth, though. So let's reduce it by 2. So he's at 13. Sigma Knight. I'm not gonna call it the Sigma Knight. It doesn't fit him at all. He will be the Valor Knight. I'm not sure if I should give Valor Knight any, like, new weaponry. Or if he should just get all 4 of them on part 3. Like a Master Knight. Oh, I guess I guess that's what I could do. I could just, Knight Commander. I could just call the tier 2 Royal Knight and then the tier 3 Master Knight. You know what? Let's do that. I actually prefer that. Royal Knight. Master Knight. Let's empty this out just in case. Royal Knight. There we go. Yeah. I think that fits better. You know, I just meant it as Bjork-based stats and level transferred to Laguz. Well, the issue is, if you just take the stats of a Bjork or Laguz and just translate them 1-to-1, then you will get an unbalanced unit. Swords, give him swords. Maybe. Make him able to use a Lincha sword. No, that goes too far, because we're gonna have Renning already as well. And since the Amiti is no longer gonna be locked to a Lincha, it means that you could trade it around. Like, if Joffrey can use it, Renning can use it, and a Lincha can use it, and you get Liane, you transform Liane, you attack 3 times with the Amiti by trading it with Elincha, Joffrey, and Renning, then you dance, and then you do it all over again. So that's 6 Amiti combats per turn. Like, having it on Renning is gonna be strong already. So I will definitely not give him access to the Amiti. That is just OP. The reason why I'm a bit unsure what weapon ranks to give him, or if I even want to give him any right now, is because it might invalidate the other knights a little bit. Like, remember, you also get Devdan as another lance unit, you will get Kieran as an axe unit, you get Astrid, and Makalov, and Marsha. Yeah, that's why they were already a pain in the ass and take more time. Personal class, personal weapons, times 3, etc. Yeah. Soining. Oh. Renning is gonna be a sword gold knight though. So if anything, maybe I want to give him bows. Starts with bows on tier 2 and then... yeah, maybe something like that. But you know what? I think I'm honestly fine with Joffrey being like this for now. I'll just keep it like this. It'll take a while till we get there. Check out the map again. Oh, I zoomed in a bit too much. Oh, and let me save. There we go. We're here. Joffrey's charge. Right, that's Joffrey. We turn him into the Royal Knight. 11. What's up, Dawnlord? Ah, not much. I just spent like what felt like an hour or half an hour trying to implement the Lagus changes properly, and then Paragon just crashed and all my effort went to waste. Okay, we have Kevin, aka Kieran, here. Yeah, he's like strong and bulky, and not really much else. FE10, Kieran. Let's get Get him onto here. And then we take his FE9 self to have as well. And then maybe Makalov. Makalov is probably the closest we have to a similar unit because they both promote into Gold Knight. Although one of them is Sword Gold Knight and the other is Axe Gold Knight, but you get the gist. Yeah, he's level 11. I would probably reduce that to level 7. Because Joffrey got 4 less levels, and then we can give Kieran 4 less levels as well. We can probably give all of them 4 less levels, apart from maybe like Astrid, because I think she already starts at level 1. Right, so yeah, Makalov is all about speed. Kieran, strength, gambling. Oh, I will definitely also change the skills of these two. Makalov will definitely get Gamble. There is no... like... no way I'm not changing that. Because it fits him so much more. Yup. Kieran should get Adept. No, Adept on Kieran? No, buddy. Kieran is always was rather good just by his stats alone. And I think he had Tempest, was that what it was? No, he had Gamble, but I think Makalov had Tempest in FE9. And I always felt like they should be swapped. He doesn't really need a skill, I think. He's still gonna be a really solid unit. And again, remember, more availability and everything. 11 strength, he's level 7. Let's put that maybe at like 18. Makalov doesn't have Gamble, what were they thinking? I question the same thing. Let's reduce his HP by 4. Magic by 1. Skill. Let's take 3 skill off of him. Speed. Now he would be, I think Joffrey has 18 speed, so I don't mind him being a little bit slower. Thoughts on Flourish. The idea is not bad, but it effectively never is useful because the units... Flourish was half damage, right? Half damage is too big of a difference, and the fact that it's an attack skill, or like a command skill, and you can't use it in an enemy phase, kind of defeats the purpose of using it to prepare kills for others. Alright, Luck. We'll just tone it down to 13, he can keep the 30%. Defense, I'll reduce it to 17, it's still gonna be one of his strongest stats. And then resistance we'll put at 10. So he's a little bit weaker overall, but he will have more availability and everything. And I think that's honestly fine. Flourish comes in way too late, pretty much. If he lost Gamble, does that mean that Astrid fixed him? No, he never had Gamble in the first place. It always felt like they should be swapped, but they never were, and then they probably just stuck with it. But, you know, I can do Makalov next anyways. Let's get FE9 Makalov in here. Makalov. It's called Makarov in the Japanese version, which is a pretty cool name, honestly. Makarov. Ой, блядь. So, he is essentially a sword master on a horse, who is also relatively bulky. Let's reduce level 2-3. Flourish could be useful in Act 1, but that's about it. I think what I may just do is Free Knight Makalov. What I may just do is give a couple Flourish skills maybe in part 1 and part 2. And maybe even in part 3. Just make the skill cheap and more available so you may actually consider using them if you really want to. In fact, maybe I'll just give Joffrey Flourish. Bro is from Call of Duty. Yeah. So we'll make him level 3. I do like the semi-swordmaster thing he has going on here. Level 3 is very low though, so let's do 16 strength for magic. Skill. Let's do 15 skill. Speed I don't want to reduce too much. I'm only going to reduce it by 1. He's still supposed to be like a very fast unit. 20 luck. Sure, we can keep that. He can be very lucky. And defense, he starts with 17. That might actually be a bit too much. We'll give him 15. He is level 3 after all. And res, let's reduce it by 1 as well. Con can stay the same. So that's what we'll do with him. Crit boost, crit boost. No, I will not give him crit boost. Will you change how you're supposed to tackle Joffrey's charge? Yes, I will remove all the green units. I will remove all the green units. Plus 5 crit boost at best. I mean, what I could do for him is I could give him a unique class where he just only keeps his blade. Like, he stays a sword gold knight, essentially. He doesn't get axes, but then he gets crit. So he'd be like a sword master with more move, but less crit. And a bit less caps, I guess. Would that sound fun? Okay. Let's take a look at some more. Oh, let's do Tekken Tag. Oh, I love this this one. Tekken Tag Tournament has such a good fucking soundtrack. He is a gambler. That is correct. I almost feel like I should just make him a sword exclusive. I kind of like that idea. Let me just save. I need to do saves periodically. It's not often that it crashes, but... yeah. Let's add 2. Where's the proper... here's the Blade Knight. We'll do it, fellas. We'll make Makalov sword only. Does Makalov get Astra? Silver will? No. We'll listen to a little bit of Tekken. And we'll call it Free Knight. Free Knight and what can the second one be? Let's do like a steel sword. Casino Knight? Casino Knight? Dice Knight? I think Dice Knight sounds funny. The Dice Knight. What if we have a secret event that if you bring Makalov to the desert chapter where Stefan is, he can learn Astra by talking to Stefan? Well, yes, but I can give him a different mastery skill, right? What? Okay, hear me out. As a mastery skill, he gets insight. And if you bring him to the desert with Stefan, then sure, we'll let him learn Astra from Stefan. Sure, it sounds funny. Let's do it. Makalov can learn Astra from Stefan if brought to the desert. Gamble Cav. Yeah, I like that. Need to take a look what it's called internally. Okay, it's just insight. So instead of soul, he learns insight. Well, yes, but Homasa event? Homasa will get his event. Don't worry. Homasa must talk to Stefan. I mean, we could just have it be like, you can pick one of them, or you could have a base conversation, or whatever. We'll figure something out. Homoeroticasa bros? Why do you associate Homasa with homoeroticism, sir? Next class, Dice Knight. I think it's just crit up. Swordmaster. Eschatos. Yeah, we can just give him crit up by 5. And then maybe by 10 on Dice Knight. It definitely needs to be like a worse... worse than the Blade Master. Fun fact, Insight gives more Fog of War, which is useful for one map in part 4 in... OG, yeah. It is definitely one of the design decisions of all time. And then we'll pick crit up by 10. Question, I know Homasa is going to be playable. What if we have Stefan and Homasa duel and whoever wins join the duel? Whoever wins the duel joins. That does sound funny. I'll note that down. We're running out of space to note down. Hold on, I need to shove all of this down. There we go. Stefan and Homasa duel in the desert, and whoever wins joins you. Yeah. Somehow I don't remember Homasa at all. I can show you who Homasa was. It is this guy. He's a sword master, you know, on the snow map where you have Naizala. And he's a magical sword master with a sonic sword. So... yeah, although in Stepan's opinion he is actually only a mediocre swordsman. Yeah, it's this guy. Okay, let's play the next one. Let me play the next one for you, Azafure. Which one did you want? Silver something? Silver Will. Alright. My GF was convinced she was recruitable when she played. he does seem a little bit like it. He has a battle conversation with every sword fighter in the game. And I think also a generic one for all Lagus. Like one quote for all Lagus, not one individual one per Lagus. Speaking of magic swords, does Mist Weapon actually use magic now instead of strength? Yes, yes it does. It does, so she is actually kinda worth training now. Okay, this is kind of a banger. Okay, with that, we seem to have fixed, quote-unquote fixed, Makalov. Just gonna make him a free knight in here. Free knight, there we go. One programmer really liked Homasa. Yeah. Maybe that is a reason why he should join earlier as your Shadow Lord. No. Homasa as a tier 1 Myrmidon. The thing is, you already get so many of them, so it is probably better if he joins later. I'm not quite sure where I will put him. Or how I will implement him. We'll see. That is that. I think for Wuhalada, which is Danvet, we've already decided that Wuhalada, aka Danvet, will be magical. And I think I already changed it, but maybe I had a crash for it, which reminds me, I'll do another save. Yeah, we've added Dalaho. Oh, I think actually no, this is not the one I added. I think this is just for like cutscene stuff. Yeah. It's just cutscene stuff they've done. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add Danvet. We're gonna copy Wuhalada. Because they're gonna both be playable. Dalaho. PID DJ Dalaho. DJ Dalaho, my beloved, my favorite character, DJ Dalaho. Yeah. But what we will do for him is he will be the strong one because he fights like 10 men. So he's gonna have a really good strength growth. While Danvet is gonna be magical. It's gonna be a magical halberdier. Where is he? Wuhalada. There we go. So I think I've done this before, but it doesn't seem to be... It doesn't seem like it actually picked it up. I think I'm probably just gonna keep him a Lancer though. This is already so peak. Here, I need to take a look at his FE9 dev done. At his stats. And then done with... You know, why does the skill supporter from Berwick Saga pop in my brain? Okay, what my idea was for Devdun and Danvet, and well, actually, this was Sal's idea, I think, originally. He mentioned it in chat. But what I wanted to implement for them was in chapter 3.7, Devdan, who joins the Dawn Brigade, gets told, hey, we need you to spy out the enemy. Like, go and do like a spying mission on them, infiltrate them. He's like, okay, Micaiah, I will do that. And then Danvet gets told by Soren the exact same thing, like, oh, Danvet, we need you to scout out the Dawn Brigade. Please do that. And he's like, okay, Soren, I will do that. And essentially, Danvet and Devdan will swap places and nobody will notice because they look like they're the same person. So, I thought it was a fucking hilarious idea. And it was so hilarious that I was considering even adding like a third one. And we'll call him like what was it? Nevet or something? I don't know. And he then joins Joffrey. But I'm not quite sure about that one. It's just like they're one... The mystery is solved. They are just one like huge family of twins. I think I'll just keep it to these two though. It sounded funny. The name of his hand puppet? His hand puppet has a name? You know more than I do. Oh, the music is over. Hold on, let me grab a new one. Boop, 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 boop. Heavy Violent March. That sounds fun. That sounds pretty good. Let's check out Nefany as a comparison. For Nevdad, Danved, Navded. So we will reduce his level as well to level 5, so he does need to be a little bit weaker overall. Yeah, and we're gonna reduce his HP by, let's say, 3. We're gonna reduce... What do you guys think of just swapping his magic and strength stat? Largo and Devdan have a support. Why do things just live in my brain until they are needed? True. I think the name of the hand puppet is one of their names backwards. Okay, well, the thing is, their names backwards is what they're called in the Japanese version. Like, Devdan is called Dalaho, and Danvet is called Wuhalada, which is just Dalaho backwards. Or actually, no, it's not. Never mind. It's similar, though. Flamelance going hard, yeah. Largon, yeah, okay. So, do you think I should just completely swap his strength and magic stat? Or should I, like, what should I do with him? I probably do need to give him a unique class just because of the caps. Yes, that seems fun. Flame Lance Wuhalada. Guess it depends on how accessible magic lances are. They will be relatively accessible. But you're right, I think maybe he should be just about as strong. He should be a bit weaker. Like, this is 14 strength. Let's give him 13 strength. So he's quite a lot weaker, but in turn we will also give him... 13, 12... Let's give him 11 strength. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 magic. You're gonna get enough magic lances. In fact, maybe I'll give him like a small PRF that is literally just a magic lance. It's not gonna be super strong, but he'll have just like more magical weapon uses. That sounds kind of fun. Okay, 23 skill. Yeah, Azafure, you asked for it, you're gonna get it. Let's put that down to 20, maybe. 20 is already pretty good. Speed. Level 5, 21 speed is actually pretty damn good. Let's reduce it to 18. Let's reduce it to 16, but we can keep his luck. And we can keep his bulk of 15. Maybe give him Imbue since he is the magical one, but nerf defense and raise his resistance. That could work. But we definitely need a new class for him in that case. You know what? Sure. Sure, that's what we'll do. Let's change the growths up a little bit to 60. We'll do 20 strength and we'll do... Let's do 60 magic because I'm gonna give Devdan 60 strength. Actually, we can do this, so he mirrors Devdan a bit. Actually, let's mirror Devdan a good amount there. He'll get 35 skill and 40 speed. Defense can be the same. Or actually, we'll swap these out. Okay. And the thing is, if we give him Imbue, then I feel like we need to give Devdan something as well. And if we give Devdan something, then he will probably just be stronger than Aaron. But maybe if we just give him something that's not too strong, what if we give Devdan Vantage? Because I think we can make Vantage work always. Let me put on the next song. I'll go through the list. Exceed. I think giving him Vantage could work. Let's take Imbue. Is that Imbue? Wait, who else had Imbue? Black Knight. Dark Knight, okay, that's what he's called here. You like these Osts? They're alright. They're alright. You take a look at this, because I think Cure was Renewal. No, Cure is... Okay, Cure is that, and Renewal is just Renewal? Oh, okay, so Imbue is just called Cure. Okay, gotcha. Wahalada. What are you planning on doing with Laguz? I'll say you should give them an AK-47 to make it more fair for them. So enemies Laguz will stay unchanged, but playable Laguz will work like an FE9. How OP do you think 100% Vantage is compared to normal activation? Not that much in most cases. The thing is, it's kind of trash if it's percentage activation in most instances, because the proc rate is so low and the effect you get from it compared to something like an adept proc is just too minor. And the characters who do get Vantage normally don't have a lot of strength in one hit to be able to kill the enemy anyways. So like you get Mia, she has Vantage, which is completely useless on her, because she will never be able... In FE9, she is pretty much never able to kill somebody in one hit, even if she crit. And in FE10, like, sure, Vantage is nice, but she still really needs to crit to get any use out of it, really. Otherwise, it's pretty much just useless on her. So it has to be 100%, I think, for it to be useful. Right. And we're gonna do a similar thing for you. They keep the same growth in here, but you get 60 there and 40 there. Skill, I think we went with... Yeah, we'll just mirror this. They both can have 60 luck. And you get 45 defense, 25 resistance. Are you planning to do another arena stream? It was fun. Yes, so the arena stream, the thing is we need to do a lot of bug fixing and we need to do a rebalancing for the skills. We need to properly make like balance for the document, like what how high the class stats are, what weapons you have access to, what the weapon stats are, and that just will take a little bit of time. I was thinking we can do it in 1 week, but I'm not quite sure if we'll be able to, so maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Are you gonna make Neffany take her helmet off? Those are the real changes we need. I don't know, I think she looks very cute with her helmet on. But I also like armored women. Women in armor are peak. Yeah. We have Dalaho here. So we do need to make a magical halberdier. Not quite sure what I'll call him yet. Just for the caps, really. Lancer, here he is, Lancer F, Lancer SP. So we need to copy this halberdier. Next, Heavy Violent March, the Crimson Stigma, sure. So we have the Lancer and then Holy Lancer. Yeah, that's what we'll take. What about Eldritch Halberdier for the class name? So, Halberdiers are actually going to be a different class with lances and axes here, who transform into Master of Arms, who can use swords, lances, axes, bows, and daggers. But they'll be overall weaker and they won't get crit. And the tier 3 will be Holy Lancers. But Eldritch Lancer works, honestly. Maybe something along the lines of Magician for his tier 1 and then tier 3. I like Eldritch Lancer. So I think I'm gonna use that for the tier 3, Eldritch Lancer. What's the purpose of the Holy Lance if there's no monsters in FE10? No, it's not a weapon. The class is called Holy Lancer. That's just what they're called in Japan. And I'm taking all the Japanese names over. And then we gotta change Lancer to Magician Lancer. What's other words that could work? That could work in that case. By the way, since you said that you don't want to hear vocals in your background music, Unfathomed Force and Azure Arbiter has some, but just as much as like FE15 Ost, it's opera. No, I don't want to hear that. At least not on stream. Have you heard the Expedition 33 Ost? No. I heard that game is pretty good though, but I have other things. Mage Soldier, he's tier 2 though. That is song Monaco from their playlist. Here's the issue, I don't know if it's copyrighted. It needs to not be copyrighted. Let's do a little bit of Rance. Rance is kind of goated. Teto? I'm not gonna play a Teto song, I'm sorry. Vocals. Bye. Sneezing over here. Yeah, something Lancer. Lancer. Thank you. I mean, Eldritch is kind of like the more evil version, you could say. Or like the more... Because Eldritch sounds pretty strong to me. Sneeze in German. Hapchi. And then you have to answer Gesundheit. Blessed Impaler. But he's not blessed. He's the opposite of blessed. I wanted to make a new mage class like Gambit that only uses cards as weapons. Here's the issue, Kiruma. We have not yet figured out how to add more usable items. Which means that you only have access to the three cards in the base game. You can change their effects and everything, but you only have access to 3 different cards. Dark Lance. I like that. Dark Lancer. Dark Lancer. Dark Lancer. There we go. If it's a Holy Lancer, then it only makes sense that the other one is an like... It only makes sense. Actual peak, dies of peak fiction. Let's give him a proper icon too. He gets the Flame Lance. I think I just used this icon for now. When Black Dragon needs an icon as well. While I'm at it, let me also change Wolf icon. There we go. And save. And what we're gonna do is we need to change the caps here. 26 magic. Let's maybe give him 20 strength. I mean, 20 strength, yeah, it's still relatively low, but it's better than 15. I think I'm gonna increase the magic caps of the physical classes anyways. And otherwise, maybe, like, exchange their res and def, while also increasing the res cap. The rest can stay the same, and we'll do a similar thing right here, where we're gonna up this to 25. So 35, 25. And we're gonna say 34, 30. Actually, 27 is probably fine for this. And we'll do something similar for the Lancer. Just to keep things the same, we're gonna up this to 20, and we're gonna up this to 20. And then we're gonna up this to 20. Up this to 20. And the Holy Lancer can have 25. Yeah. Okay. And then we just give him that class Dark Lancer. Oh, actually, no, this is Dalaho. Well, actually, what class he has in here doesn't matter because it's map determined. Maybe make one normal, one brave, one crit. And it's a tier 3 class only. What? What are you referring to? Oh, you mean the cards. Okay, okay. I mean, what you could do is you make it card only, but you give it some kind of buff. Like maybe you give it White Tide or Dark Tide or one of the Tide skills that buff, or Daunt, you know, some kind of supporting skills, and then you just have it use cards. And you definitely want to reduce the cost of cards. But even then, it's like very limited in how much you can use it, so experience gains will be limited. So I would make it a class that starts either on tier 3, or you make it start on tier 2, but very high level, and then on tier 3, they get access to an additional weapon that they can use normally, maybe. That could work pretty well. Because at that point, even if they can't... Is it easier to hack Fates than FE10? Yes. From what I heard, yes. Fates has more tools and more people interested in hacking it. So, yeah. Okay, so we have Vuhalada. So we're gonna turn him into a Dark Lancer, and instead of the Killer Spear... Or actually, instead of the Iron Spear, we can give him the Flame Lance. I think I just called it the Flame Lance. Kind of off topic, can you play Pro Dogs Triple Baka? No. No, like... First of all, vocals. Second of all, it's from ProDog, so I'm not sure I can show it on YouTube, because you know very well how ProDog is. And we already thought about Marsha. Wahalada. And I will add Tominami here. So how are we going to fix that Bow Paladin with 13 space strength? Why is she so... Oh, right. Astrid exists. I forgot. I forgot that she exists. I honestly, legitimately forgot. It's just... No, it's Arrow Knight, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I honestly forgot she exists. Arrow Knight SP, yeah, it's a second Arrow Knight. Making it a more support class, add the tight skills per card. And like staff at tier 3, maybe that could work. Just make her single and she's perfect. I mean, keep in mind, the way it will work now is her Paragon will be locked to her, and she will have normal mode experience gains. Would be cool to make her an archer on a horse and Makalov a swordmaster on a horse, you know, feels natural. It could work, I guess. Arrow Knight named from Berwick Saga? No, that's what they're called in Japan, or in the internal files rather. So I'm just adopting the internal names, and in this case it's Arrow Knight. Sherlock, true. Berwick Sherlock, my beloved. So I'm really not sure what I want to do with her. Because I think the fact that she gets normal mode experience gains is already gonna be huge, especially since the other units are leveled further down as well. Just compare her. Yeah, so she's always been rather fast. Yeah, her thing has also always been rather low HP, and I think I kind of want to keep that. In fact, maybe I want to make it a little bit lower, the growth. Maybe make her a pure bowcav, but then get her like a little bit of crit as well. Because the thing is, the marksmen are actually super good. She will not have 2 to 3 range. So maybe I just keep her like bows only. Maybe she gets crossbows and a little bit of crit. That could work. Her bases can honestly stay. I did reduce her level by 1, but... I think I'll just keep her bases for now. She will get much faster experience gains, so hopefully that should be enough to help her out. She's still supposed to be a trainee, so... But yeah, I kind of like that idea. And this is the only one, this is the only class that she uses anyways, so what would we call that? Because Sagittary is already the one that Tier 3 snipers use. Put on some new music. Teto, teto, teto. Oh, I love this absolute banger of a song. Let's reduce her HP and defense growth a little. You know what, that's honestly fine. Oh, they've done. They're not supposed to be there. We'll keep her a bit more squishy. 30% defense is fine, her base defense is very low. And then maybe we'll just give her like, I don't know. Let's give her at least 50 speed. 45 magic. And 50 skill. Just a small buff everywhere. And then her gist will be that she doesn't get lances. But crit. There are also fat Teto memes. Everything hints that you would like her. That's not the reason I like Teto though. Arch Knight? I could do Arch Knight, yeah. But the previous class is called Arrow Knight, so maybe that's a little bit too close. Her bases are just too low. Well, yes, but again, with her, I'm gonna be a little bit experimental. What I will do is... I will keep the stats as they are now. I did change the growths a little bit, but enemies will be higher level. You will have normal mode experience gains, which means essentially plus 33% extra experience compared to hard mode. And her Paragon will be locked to her. So she will suddenly have a whole lot of different things going for her. And hopefully be able to get experience much quicker as a unique thing. And be able to level up to be very strong should you want to use her. Let me just take off my shirt, it's so warm. There we go. So fucking warm, I'm sweating in here. You can continue the junky JP names and name her a shooter. Shoot Knight. Yeah, you know what, I like that. Shoot Knight. Right, and we do the similar thing where she gets crit plus 10 for the Shoot Knight. Should she still have Soul, or should we maybe exchange that for like Deadeye? Will you give her a weapon that so she can actually deal some damage? Yeah, we'll figure something out for her. Maybe we can add a couple of Pegasus Knights. Maybe like a small PRF that just helps her going by doing a little bit of damage, but not really scaling. Like one thing I always like to do here is units often have high base magic, but very low magic growth. So you can give them a magic weapon, which will deal more damage than than they would do normally, so they can contribute a bit here and there, but it's not going to scale. This girl is so bad in OG and yet has so many convos in tower. Well, she is kind of relevant because she is a Begnion Knight, I think, right? From a, like, big family, so it does kind of make sense. Let's add... Grit up 5. I think Soul doesn't quite fit her as a tier 3 skill. Let's take a look what else she could learn, maybe. It's not like she uses Soul that good. She is an archer, so she doesn't get hurt regularly, so it's better to use Deadeye. Yeah, it's either Deadeye or... I mean, Astra could be pretty funny, too. If anything, Astra might fit better. But then both of them could get Astra. Eclipse? I'm not giving her Eclipse. Astrid. Well, she's no longer called Astrid, she's called Stella. Because that's her Japanese name and her German name. I'm not quite sure which one I actually prefer. But they're both pretty good. Raph could work. Pass could also work. As a skill for her, but... Celerity? She already has Paragon, though. So if anything, it has to be a tier 3 skill. Here's the idea: in a base conversation after Makalov earns Astra, he can teach her Astra. That could work. So just Deadeye then? Sure. We'll give her... or we'll just exchange this for Deadeye. And we'll see how it works, you know, we can always rebalance it if it's too strong. Keep in mind all of the mastery skills will be nerfed, especially the damage output. Like, Deadeye will no longer triple your skill, it will only put enemies to sleep. So what you could theoretically do with her is you run in, you attack, you proc Deadeye, and then you run off again. And then you have an enemy slept in the backline who can't really attack you. You've disabled the enemy, essentially. Shanam Marita moment. Remember that old Reven Heaven with Raph who exists? What? I have no clue what you're talking about. But yeah, that means we can even just keep her an Arrow Knight. We changed the Arrow Knight class itself. Yeah. Steel Bow. I'm gonna hold off on giving her like any PRF or anything like that. Until we see how useful she actually will be. But I will most likely remove all of the green units here. And just make it blue units only, and then we increase the stats of these enemies. Let's take a look at Lyncha's Gambit then. Okay, so we have a Lyncha, obviously. She gets the Amiti. Gotta look at it from here. Nephany comes back, Braum comes back. Yeah, here's the thing. I kinda want an additional map, both after this one, and maybe before this one. Because, well, I can't really add Lucina here, or Lucia. Yeah, I'll have to figure something out that I will do here, so I can't really do all that much, and I don't think you get any new characters on this map either. Oh, Khalil! Wait, you get Khalil on this chapter. I think I should probably just add Khalil in one of the previous chapters. Or maybe in one of the newly added chapters. Alongside Largo. But yeah, you do get Khalil. And you're gonna get Teshoria, but it's gonna join you at the end of this chapter, if you fulfill the condition for it. Okay. Almost Nealucci, yeah, Nealucci. Nealucci will be good as well. What I was thinking for Nealucci is I may just make him start at S rank. Because, you know, he's old, he should have experience with Hawk 2-ing around. Or sorry, Raven 2. I feel myself getting a little bit tired though, so maybe I'll call it a day here and I'll just try to redo all the Laguz things off screen some other time. Because I will need to take a look at some of the maps to decide where I want to put them in. And I need to prepare a testing save file for part 2 anyways. And I can't continue on part 1 until the Laguz things are done. And I just want to do that on my own time. So I think I'll just call it a day here. Yeah. I'll call it a day here. I'll save it up. I want to thank you guys for watching. I will have a good amount of more time this week. But we will be working on the arena, so I can't guarantee it, but I think I can get out a couple more streams this week. Yeah, oof, I'm just about to say goodbye. Oof joins and it's over. Yup. Oof, it's so fucking over. But yeah, maybe a couple more streams. I still need to finish finish Rebellion Saga. I'm itching to play a game again instead of just hacking it, so I think you'll get a Rebellion Saga stream. Maybe even me finishing Rebellion Saga. But Arena, hit me up with anything if you need help. Yeah, you're in the dev server, so you'll see it. And maybe I'll do another Berwick stream as well. That is also nearing its end, because if I finally finish those two projects, then I can finally play a new project. And I'm eyeing up Darkstone as my next one. Or maybe like Genealogy, we'll see. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time, hopefully later this week. Bye bye!